Involvement looks after all our everything we put under the involvement banner, so it could be sports, societies, community volunteering, charity fundraising, a whole range of things that help students get a bit more out of the university experience and hopefully build their CV as well. So again, I'm going to let the guys, should we start with James, just talk for 1 minute about themselves, what they've done previously and why they'll be a good candidate.
Hi, I'm James Bingham. I'm a third year film and TV student over at High Wycombe. Project leader for film and TV at the SU as well. I'm the chairman of Film Society. I'm a venue bar team leader over in Wycombe at the campus. I'm also a host of the quiz at the campus. If you want to come to the quiz, that's cool, you can do that. And I also take videos and take photos at the crash night at the High Wycombe campus as well. So that's me. Cool.
Hi guys, my name is Ohio. I'm the current Vice President Student Involvement. When I was a student, I was also on the Sports Science and Coaching course with the President Joe. I was a freshers helper, so I helped move in freshers when they were coming into their time at university. I was also the varsity captain last year in our event against the University of Roehampton. I've been a first team rugby player for the last 4 years, and one of my main achievements from my current year as VP is I worked with the library team based in Uxbridge. And despite the lack of space, we managed to gain another 30 metres of shelving space for you guys in your library.
Hi, my name is Jake. I am currently a third year public relations and marketing student, again over at the High Wycombe campus. I'm the chairman of the Athletic Union, football and futsal clubs, and I also do a bit of hosting, just like James, including the Big Brother event I can see is written on the whiteboard over there, so do come to that, that'd be awesome. Back to you, James.
Thank you. Big sea of hands of questions. Yes, excellent.
Okay, so like as you can see, people are leaving. They're not listening to you because they're kind of sounding you're boring. It's like we've heard it all before, and you have to meet a difference. You're not actually like doing anything. Like you're doing the Big Brother thing. Have you ever from Uxbridge to like just enjoy it?
Okay, for those who couldn't hear it, and I'm going to paraphrase if that's okay. I've heard it all before. You're not doing anything, and people are bored. What are you going to do about that? How would you like to start?
Let me just get a drink of water before I start. So from your tone, I can hear the frustration, which I don't blame you for, because I've known Oxford students for a couple of years, and you know, one of the things that they always say is they don't feel as included as Buck students, which I think is actually fair enough. You know, I didn't actually know we had an Oxbridge campus until I was a third year, so your point is actually proven. This year, what I will disagree with you is that we have made more of a conscious effort to include Oxford students this year. I know there are a few people in this room who do recognise me from being here and telling them what's going on. You have heard it all before, because at the end of the day, we're all trying to get your votes, and it is about proving that we do deserve your votes. I like to think I've done a little bit to try and help you, especially with your shelving space, which you might not have noticed. If you have a look, I might sign it for you, like I'll show you at the end if you want to go. That's cool. But with regards to the Big Brother, you know, there is more of a case of improving the way we speak to students, maybe more face-to-face. Because not everyone in this room has Facebook, not everyone in this room has Twitter, not everyone in this room checks emails. So I do agree with you in the sense that maybe we should be improving our face-to-face time with Oxford students so they do know more what's going on. Is that cut? Okay, cool.
I'm going to say I completely agree with anything you're saying there. Alright, cheers. That, I completely agree with everything you're saying there. That I don't think there is enough support for you. It's so easy to sit here as someone running for a sabbatical position and say, oh yeah, well we're going to do this, we're going to do that, because the big thing is as I said, people are saying come to Wycombe and do this, and it seems to me that it's always come to Wycombe and it's hard to get a 45-minute bus all the time. I know that you don't have space, so the big thing that I would want to do if I came into this position would be bring more things over here, rather than saying it's really easy for you, we've got this event on, and everything ends up at Wycombe. I don't want you to think that, even though it does seem like it, Wycombe's no more important than Uxbridge at all, in no sense, and we're one big university, so we'd rather be like, we're going to be doing this event. We could have a take me out event on at Uxbridge or something, we bring people over, or we'll bring events to you, we could do things in the park room, we could do things like that, and even if it's a case of, we say about sports, we say it's really easy for you to come and play sports, but again, it's bringing you to Wycombe, so why not, hello, cut there, finished, sorry.
So we've only got, everybody's got a certain amount of time they can answer a question.
And a PowerPoint ready then as well.
Yeah, maybe you get a chance to continue that later.
Yeah, it's sort of along the lines of what you two just said, really. Bring a lot more over here. I mean, I host a quiz in Wickham. There's no reason why I can't bring it over here and host a quiz here. Yeah, like Jake said, really, it's a lot about, we basically just do lots of stuff in Wickham and not enough goes on here, whereas like nursing is a massive thing and probably one of the biggest and most sought after courses in the books. Bunf, would you say? Collection of... I made it up. There we are. Yeah, it's more about not talking rubbish and actually bringing stuff over here and talking sense. So, we are.
Excellent, thank you. See, it's much better when somebody asks a question than the lame questions that I've been asking, so thank you very much for that. Are we all done? Here we go. I'm away at placement, well clearly I'm not away at placement. I'm away at placement during the year and I don't have that much time at Uxbridge. How would you make the union easier for me to get involved with? So how would you reach out to placement students?
So one of my big points on my manifesto is having tailored training sessions and activities for Uxbridge students and generally partner college students as well. So bring in more, like I said, tailored things over here. So maybe it has to be like a fun activity for you to do that's tailored to your, I'm just saying tailored quite a lot here, I suppose. But there's stuff like we can do, let's say some terrible examples here. Oh, there's a tailored course, not a tailored course. You could do knitting today. Oh, that's useful, isn't it? Let's not do knitting, let's do something more relevant, like that. That's, yeah. Brilliant.
Sorry, Tris, could you repeat the question? Sorry.
That's really good. I thought I put the question down actually.
Was it about how to get placement students more involved?
Yes, how would you look after placement students and how would you make sure the union services are easy for them to access?
Cool. So firstly, a key part of the job, not only to be approachable, is to build up a good rapport with university staff. So it's probably be good to try and get potentially a list of names or a potential list of email addresses from the people in charge of the placement and find out, look, who's going on placement, like what kind of hours do they work? Not that we're going to stalk them or anything, but just that we find a convenient time to contact them about and let them know what's going on. So it's a lot easier for them to fit it into their own timetable rather than relying on them coming into Pulse or coming into the SU or looking on my Facebook page of what's going on. It would be a case of trying to reach them at their convenient times so they can find out how to fit the SU activities into their schedule.
Yeah, going on back what the other two said, very similar to that, it's sort of easy to say that we can tailor things around what you're doing around the placement, but what we need to do is find a suitable time that everyone's going to be free of the placement, because if you're on placement all the time and you want to get involved, then you should be able to get involved. You have as much right as anyone else. So what we can do is bring sort of sports and societies and activities like that to you within, so say the nursing society, which obviously getting launched tonight, it's going to be good. We can bring sports into that. It doesn't have to be competitive, it can be fun, you can join in as much or little as you want. We can bring in GAA into that, anything you want like that, we can do it inside there. So this is something that we can allocate around your time. There's nothing fixed, you can be flexible with that. I'm going to get cut off again, so I'm going to stop.
Thanks guys. So if you could, and we'll start with Jake and we'll work our way back down this way if that's okay. If you could just pick one thing off your manifesto that you'd like to achieve, what would it be?
So I'm going to go for the inclusion and sort of benefiting the Uxbridge students a lot more. It's on my manifesto and it's something that really needs to be done. And it's, as I said, it's so easy every year for SABs to come and say, as you said, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, but let's change it from being Wickham and let's bring it to Uxbridge. So that's going to stick with that for my main part of my manifesto, is bringing the activities to you and let's get involved, and not, as I said, we're doing this, you have to come to this, let's speak to you and find and work around what times you can do and what you want to do.
Cool. So I do have a nursing society point on my manifesto, but the one I'm going to choose is, I've spoken to a lot of female students over the last 10 months, and some of them, whether they've been on placement or if they're not sure how to go about it, they've wanted to just either start being active or become a bit more active, but they're not quite sure how. So a campaign I want to bring in next year, something brand new, something untried, it's called #BucksGirlsCan. So it's just going to be like a comfortable, healthy environment where if anyone's looking to, whether it's once every 2 weeks or once every other day, anywhere that they can get active, and it's not necessarily, it could be playing GA, playing women's rugby, joining Pilates, having a bit of Zumba. I might be the teacher for it, who knows. But yeah, hashtag BucksGirlsCan is my main manifesto point for next year.
So for me, you already know about the tailored stuff, obviously. Guess I went on yeah, let's ignore that one. So you know about that one, it's a big one. Tailored stuff for this campus and the partner colleges as well. And I also want to get students more involved with the events side of things, which obviously Jake said brings a lot over here, which is a very good point. So getting students more involved in the events side. You can host things in here, like Jake does. No, my friend Ashley does a karaoke thing. I do a quiz. Jake does some hosting too. So it's all about bringing stuff over here, events, tailored sessions, activities, all that jazz.
Good, we're going to do some jazz. Oh, we've got a question here, I think. Is that okay? Who's got excellent?
Sing a song? You're good at singing. I'm joking. No, first question is about accommodation. It's kind of down towards people from obviously far away or Irish students. Now I know that you do accommodate in places that they obviously rent the room or the houses to Bucks New Uni. First of all, the accommodation is so expensive through the university. It's nothing like the accommodation for you know, in High Wycombe and all off the hospitals. The hospital accommodation. The accommodation that they supply through the uni here is absolutely appalling. There's no like clean up the beds, everything. It's disgusting. I was moved from one accommodation when I moved over first because of the conditions, and it was terrible. And where I moved wasn't any better, but the people I lived with were better. How can you improve accommodation for us? Not only Irish students, but people that live probably the north of England that have to travel far from obviously home to live in better conditions, to pay a reasonable rent, because you have to remember Irish students don't get bursaries, we get nothing. I work full time. I'm in a nursing degree and when I go on placement, and that's my personal experience at the moment, and accommodation. Like in High Wycombe they pay I think 340, I pay 550, and that's not including council tax, my bills. How could you support us in getting better accommodation services?
Yeah, like I pay $4.70 to share a bathroom. That's a lot of money, like when you don't get anything off.
No, you made a good point. So as a student, I didn't have the best experience of accommodation either, as well. And because they are a separate entity to the Students' Union, so I think it would just be a case of, because I know them moderately well, per se, not on the best terms, but I know them anyway. But it's a case of, you know, student feedback is key, and it's not just a case of, you know, having a form and going into halls and saying, oh, like, write down what's wrong. Like, it's a case of potentially having focus groups with people like yourself, and different, so people from different halls, people who have different landlords, and, you know, gauging what the general issue is, and then it would be down to, you know, myself as Vice President of Student Involvement and the Vice President of Education and mainly Welfare to apply pressure onto accommodation to improve the general student accommodation that's going on, because it's not a case of just saying, oh, like, our students aren't happy, they have to share this, they have to share that. It's like accommodation, what are you going to do to make sure people have as best a student experience as possible? Because the experience isn't just about nights out, it's not just about sport, it's not just about getting drunk on a Wednesday, it starts from where you're living at home, because if you're not coming home to a clean house, then you're not enjoying life at university.
What's the funds, everything that you're given in that accommodation, you know, it's terrible, it's disgusting. Have you seen, what? Is that bad? Oh. Do you go out to view any of the properties that, oh go ahead, sorry.
So I'll just stick with the first question, just so that, good question by the way. But I think the thing is, and I've said it with a few other ones, it's really easy for someone like us to sit here and say what you want to hear and go, right, we're gonna change that. But I don't think the first thing we need to do is change it. I'm sat here, and when you're saying that question then, that was the first I've heard that there is really bad accommodation, and I think a lot of people sort of suffer in silence with it. Like, personally, I've been lucky, I've had quite a good experience with accommodation, but because of that, I would not know that anyone else was really, that it was like, it was bad conditions and you were paying too much, because I think, unless you come here and ask a question like that, then we're not going to know. So, something we might be able to do is bring in maybe a social media campaign where you're actually taking a picture of something that is wrong, or saying, look, this is the rent I'm paying, and sharing that, and then we can make it up, we can make it I don't know if anyone uses Twitter or anything, but we can make a Twitter campaign saying, this is what's going on, this is wrong, and then from there, we can actually make the changes, because then the university can actually realise, rather than me sitting here going, yes, this is what I'll do, I'll change it all, I can't do that straight away until we know the problem. So if we make the university and everyone around us and all of the SABs aware of this problem, then that's when we can start changing. So that's what I'll do.
Yeah, for me it's along the same lines as Vohar and Jake. It's just about calling out the issue. So if, as long as you raise the issue, we can act on it, or at least act on it with a partner, as in SJ for Welsh Vice President. So I'd say, yeah, along the lines of what you two just said. Just tell us what the issue is, bring it to light, and then we can probably work on that. And yeah, and that's all that needs to be said, really.
Do you have a second?
Yeah, I have a second.